Well, it may not be as wild as it was last night. That's going to be hard to beat. But the valley is getting some monsoon storms tonight. Let's give you a live look right now at I-17 at Rose Garden Lane. You can see the wet freeway there. And in the past few minutes, we've also seen a lot of lightning in the sky, some rumbles of thunder as this storm moves through.
Yeah, nice compliment to all that dust that we got yesterday, right? Well, this is how things looked on the I-10. This is near 107th Avenue out in Avondale. This was just after 9 p.m. And again, you can see some very slick road conditions there. And of course, we need it here in the valley. Thanks everyone for joining us for 12 News at 10. I'm Kariba Devine.
I'm Mark Curtis. We really need the rain, so this is great. Let's get right to our weather impact forecast. Lindsay Riley is standing by. And Linz, where are we seeing these latest storms?
Well, it began in the West Valley around Avondale. We did have a severe thunderstorm warning that popped around 9:15. That came to an end at 9:45. But this is still a very strong storm moving to the northeast at about 20 miles per hour. Gusts up to 40. So if you're watching us from downtown Phoenix, anywhere close to the 51 out in Scottsdale, Paradise Valley, up to 40-mile-per-hour wind gusts will be possible as this storm sweeps across the valley. So it has become a little bit larger. Here's a look at the timeline. Arrival time in Paradise Valley at 10:18, and then it'll arrive in Scottsdale at 10:28. Again, it is below severe limits, but it's moving at about 20 miles per hour. The heavier rain now approaching I-17, and this will be moving into downtown Phoenix within a few minutes. So rainfall rates in the downtown area about to pick up. Further north, you can see some of that heavier rain now has cleared Peoria. It's crossing I-17 and approaching the 51. Parts of the 101 also seeing some heavy rain, and this will be approaching the 101 in Scottsdale as well. Here's the big picture. In fact, you can see one outflow boundary. This is now moving east of Scottsdale toward Fountain Hills and the East Valley. So if you're watching us from, say, Gilbert, Mesa, you might see a brief increase in some gusty winds over the next couple minutes. Further north, a couple showers, but this is it. This is actually the most active radar right now. It's in the valley. We'll be tracking this throughout the newscast, and after this sweeps through, things will calm down for the rest of the night. Karibe.
All right, Lindsay, thanks. Today, people all across the valley were in cleanup mode after last night's storms. Some of the most severe damage was in the East Valley, including a well-known Chandler landmark. Chateau de Vie was hit really hard. The lavender farm had 8 trees come down. 2 of them wound up in the lake. The manager says the winds came tearing through the area last night, and this morning he got a first-hand look at the damage.
You know, we've had 1 or 2 come down before, and I thought, okay, that's a mess, but yeah, this was rough.
Meanwhile, this was the scene in Gilbert this morning where a fallen tree crushed this parking area. This was near Guadalupe Road and Country Club Drive. The storm clocked wind gusts of 70 miles an hour. We want to get to the latest in the murder of 10-year-old Rebecca Baptiste. Prosecutors in Apache County are asking the judge to consolidate the cases of the 2 suspects, Rebecca's father and his girlfriend.
They are both charged with first-degree murder and child abuse. 12 News journalist Bianca Bono has read through these newly filed court documents. And Bianca, what do they say?
Well, it basically says that the prosecutors up in Apache County are trying to combine these cases together. That's not surprising. We did expect that. But in the documents, the state has laid out the facts of their case, giving us new information and insight about the suspects' own admissions and what Rebecca's siblings told police.
Hi, guys.
In Holbrook police body camera footage showing the first interaction law enforcement had with Richard Baptiste and Anicia Woods after Rebecca Baptiste was found unresponsive. As the 10-year-old is put into an ambulance and rushed to the hospital, Baptiste and Woods appear concerned that an officer is speaking with Rebecca's 2 siblings waiting in the car.
So what happened today?
As the officer tries asking them questions, the suspects appear in the window.
And then what happened?
She came back home.
And a newly filed court document says the young boys were told by the suspects not to talk.
When she came back home, how did that?
Prosecutors in Apache County laying out their statement of facts as they ask a judge to consolidate Baptiste and Woods' criminal cases. On July 28th, the day after Rebecca was taken to the hospital after living with her family in this yurt tent for nearly a month, her brothers were forensically interviewed. One brother disclosed that both of his parents hit him, but when asked for more details, he said, "I'm not allowed to tell people about that." When asked what happened to Rebecca, one brother said the last time he saw her, she was in timeout doing running, then she was doing laps. When asked if Rebecca was hit, he said always. She got hit a lot. But when asked another question, he said, "I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about that," saying his mom said, "Don't talk to anyone that asks you that question." The court document also provides new details about some of the dozen reports the children's school made to the Department of Child Safety alleging abuse and neglect. Staff at Empower College Prep said the children appeared at school with marks, scratches, and bruises and complained about the physical discipline of laps and planks and not being fed at home.
What happened, guys?
Ran away, and when they found her, this is how she was.
In this body camera footage, the suspects tell police Rebecca had run away, alleging that was the cause of her extensive injuries, including brain damage. But this court document says doctors reported Rebecca was so severely dehydrated, they did not believe she was physically capable of running away, and many of her injuries had various stages of healing. Doctors said she had clean soles of her feet, but severe injuries everywhere else. She suffered an array of injuries consistent with a severe traumatic brain injury. Officials say based on evidence, it's clear both Baptiste and Woods played a part in Rebecca's death, and they should face their future together. And both Baptiste and Woods are set to appear in court next week. The state is also requesting there be an oral argument to discuss this motion to consolidate the cases. As we've reported, this case is also being reviewed by DCS. We're live in studio, Bianca Bono, 12 News.
Bianca, thanks. New at 10, Peoria residents are pushing back against a massive new semiconductor plant, and now a recall effort is underway against the mayor and the entire city council. The $2 billion Amcor project is expected to bring 2,000 new jobs, but many of the people who live in Vistancia worry about pollution, traffic, water use, and property values. Residents say the facility has doubled in size from the original plan, from 500,000 to 2 million square feet, and it will tower over nearby homes. The group behind the recall needs more than 17,000 signatures by Christmas Eve in order to get the recall on the ballot.
We have an update tonight on a serious case of animal neglect in Tonopah. Officials say that Brittany Rose has been booked on multiple animal cruelty charges. MCSO's Animal Crimes Unit found 12 dogs living in terrible conditions without food or water. Officials seized the dogs and they are now receiving the proper care.
Police have identified the man shot and killed by police in Chandler last week. Police say Enrique Gress tried breaking into a home near Pecos and McQueen. Police say he then rammed into a patrol car that was responding to the break-in. Officers tell us that Gress pulled out an assault rifle and fired one round. He was found to be carrying ammunition, drugs, a handgun, and body armor. No officers were injured. The Mesa Police Department is investigating. A plea deal is on the table now for the man accused of killing a Mesa teenager 3 years ago. Back in 2022, 18-year-old Stephen Jacobo was shot and killed while he was at a house party with friends.
12 News journalist Jade Cunningham spoke with Jacobo's father about the deal and how he feels about it.
For 3 years, Mark Jacobo has pushed for justice in his son Stephen's murder. On November 6, 2022, the 18-year-old was shot and killed while at a party with friends.
He was going to kill somebody that night, and him killing my son. My son saved everybody else's life.
Witnesses identified the shooter as 20-year-old Joe Rim, who was arrested but released when the Maricopa County Attorney's Office sent the case back to Mesa Police. It was then sent back to MCAO 2 more times.
I cannot explain the pain that I go through.
Both were rejected.
I get told all the time, I'm such a tough man, and that's not even the case. If I didn't use my son's strength, my son's light that he put on everybody, I wouldn't be able to be here.
2 years later, Rim was formally charged with second-degree murder and with 10 additional counts of sexual exploitation of a minor.
Our kids are no longer promised tomorrow. Kids are continuing to hurting each other for no reason, and it's just not right. And not only do they need to be held accountable, but their parents need to be held accountable as well.
Now, as the case moves forward, it's possible Rim could take a plea deal, which doesn't sit well with Stephen's family.
I still want to continue to push for trial for the fact that I need to use my son's case, my son's story, to set an example, to start taking accountability for these young adults.
In Arizona, a second-degree murder charge carries a max sentence of 25 years. Each sexual exploitation of a minor charge carries up to 24 years. Jacobo says if the plea deal is accepted, Rim could face up to 29 years total.
So just get a slap on the wrist and just do a few years for killing somebody, it's just not fair. I need to continue fighting like how my son did. My son continued to fight for his life when he was shot.
With the next court date a few weeks away, Jacobo is holding his son's memory close, hopeful the plea will be rejected so justice, he says, can be served. Jade Cunningham, 12 News.
All right, Jade, thank you. New tonight, a resurgence of carfentanil. It is a drug that is 100 times more powerful and potent than fentanyl. The Drug Enforcement Agency says that it's seeing more of the substance on Arizona streets.
It's a really troubling and scary new trend. Carfentanil is a powerful animal tranquilizer and not approved for human use. The DEA says the drug is now being found in pills, especially those that are mass-produced by the Sinaloa cartel.
The Sinaloa cartel is only looking at expanding its customer base. They are driving addiction. I'm a mom, and so I think about this problem set all the time, that you would lose the thing that you've cherished most in the world to something that costs less than a postage stamp. These pills are cheap and they are dangerous.
It's really terrifying. In Arizona, the DEA is using mobile drug labs to test the drugs when they're found on the street. They say the drugs brought into Arizona take about 2 weeks to spread to the rest of the country.